There are 6 actively exploited Microsoft bugs in the wild. Let's talk about them on the patch report. Hello, everyone. I am Dustin Childs, head of threat awareness here at TrendAI Zero Day Initiative and our chief patch wrangler. I am on the road again, as you can tell, back in Tokyo for another visit here. And we've got a lot to talk about. Very small release from Adobe and Microsoft both, but very impactful because of the O days and some other things going on. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into the Adobe release. These are the types of release I like because pretty simple. 9 bulletins, 44 CVEs, nothing under active attack, nothing publicly known, everything deployment priority 3. Yeah, I like these. I like these a lot. If I have to pick one of these to really focus on, it would be After Effects, just because it's 15 bugs. Nothing really more than that. And there's other critical bugs in here. But yeah, just kind of that. Take a look at it, see what you can see. Just your normal rollout cadence, though, for this one. And that's, like I said, nice. So Microsoft, however, 58 bugs. Again, not a big size, pretty typical for February, but holy cow, 6 of them under active attack. And let's start with the Windows Shell security feature bypass. Now, here's some nuance for you. Nuance, I think, nuance is my favorite new word. Um, it is a bypass of a security feature, yet it leads to code execution. So, do you call it a code execution bug or do you call it a security feature bypass? Well, I can tell you how Microsoft answered that question, but know that this leads to code execution. So the bug bypasses Smart Screen and Shell security prompts to execute code. It is a one-click, meaning you do have to click a link, so there is user interaction here. Thankfully, we know that users don't actually click a lot of links. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the exact opposite. Users click everything. So, yeah, definitely take a look at that. Test and deploy this one pretty quickly. Here's another one. It's a Word bug. It is bypassing a security feature. And again, it's resulting in remote code execution. So, yeah, some nuance here. Now, with this one, preview pane is not, it is not an exploit vector. So you got that going for you. But opening a Word doc is all that it takes. Bypasses the protections that are supposed to prevent you from getting to COM OLE objects. A lot of those are dangerous. That's why they try to stop you from getting there. And but they don't. So this is one that's actively being exploited again. Another one under active exploit, Desktop Windows Manager. And if this sounds a little familiar, it's because the bug from last month that was being actively exploited, same component. Now, last month it was an info disclosure bug, and this is a privilege escalation bug. No nuance on that, it's total priv-esc. But if I see the same component exploited 2 months in a row, I always think that the first patch leads to the second patch. So there might have been something in that first patch that let attackers know that they could bypass it and get to this and do even more damage because you're doing a priv-esc now instead of just info disclosure. So that's interesting. We'll probably never know the full answer to that, but that's what I think. Remote desktop services, don't let the remote fool you. This is a local priv-esc, similar to the last one. You just elevate and get system privileges. Usually it's paired with another bug. You don't just do this, to elevate privileges. You have another bug that then does the code exec, so you completely take over a system. Hope you're not afraid of Ghost. I know I ain't afraid of no Ghost, because Internet Explorer's back from the dead, baby. Yeah. You think you can keep it down. You cannot. It is like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers put together. That's what it is. Did I mention it is 4:45 in the AM here at Tokyo? If I seem a little punchy, that's why. Anyway, so yes, again, this acts just kind of like the shell bug we just talked about. Click a link and you get remote code execution. Again, is it security feature? Well, I'm not going to get lost in that nuance here, but IE still exists on all those Windows systems out there, and there are protections that are supposed to prevent you from getting to it. Those protections didn't work in this case. It failed. The final bug under active attack here is interesting because it's denial of service in the remote access connection manager. Now, it basically it looks like it shuts it down if it receives it's a null pointer deref, right? So it's going to shut down the service. Does it blue screen? Does the service restart automatically? I don't know. Microsoft doesn't say, and I really wish they would. So anyway, send your complaints to Redmond. There's only so much I can do. Take a look at the table there, and as we move into the other critical rated bugs, there aren't a lot this month. Pretty much they were handled already on February 5th by Microsoft and are being documented. There's 2 new ones in the ACI confidential containers. The first is a container escape, and the second one discloses secret tokens and keys. Yeah, that would probably be used later for some sort of escape or something. Let's move on to the other code execution bugs, because there's one I really want to talk about. It's the Azure SDK for Python, and it has a CVSS of 9.8. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh, well, that's another one that they just handled. No, this was one you need to patch, because a remote unauthenticated attacker can get code execution on an affected system by sending a maliciously crafted continuation token. That's very close to being wormable. So it's very, very important on all those systems that have Azure SDK for Python installed, which admittedly is probably not a lot comparatively to like Word or something, but it's going to be a positive number. It's going to be several of them out there. So yeah, definitely take care of that. I don't know why this one was not rated critical. It really should be. So treat it as critical and then roll that out. Some Hyper-V bugs that are essentially open and owned, similar to the Notepad bug. Okay, Power BI, this one I just don't understand, because it says it's an authenticated user and it results in running code as an authenticated user. But I started as an authenticated user, but it results in running code as authenticated. But I started as authenticated, but now I'm running code. So I don't understand it at all. There's the poorly named Azure Local Remote Code Execution. Think about that for a sec. But it's a machine in the middle sort of thing. Don't get worried about that. The Defender for Endpoint for Linux is a little interesting, but it's contained to a subnet. You will need to enable auto provisioning to get the patch. That's one of those that's a little bit extra. And the final code exec bug as in GitHub Copilot. I'm going to be saying Copilot quite a bit today too. 2 are command injections, and the other one's a Toctile bug. So yeah, those code exections and that good old Copilot artificial intelligence. I love the AI bugs. I'm here for it. EOP bugs that we've already discussed quite a bit. Almost everything else is just straight up system or admin privileges. They are different. There's another command injection in GitHub Copilot. Leads to executing code at the level of the target application. That's cute. There's a bug in the kernel which does lead to system, but it also could be used for a sandbox escape, so it gets the old scope change on the CVSS. And spoofing bugs. What is with the spoofing bugs this month? Yeah, so 2 of them scare me right off the bat, and they're both in Outlook. And preview pane is an attack vector. I bet you thought you were getting a month of preview pane bugs off. No, not. You're not getting off that easily. So there's that, and then there's the fact that it relays what it's spoofing is it's relaying NTLM credentials to a bad guy, so that's bad. And hey, to top it all off, there's multiple patches. That's right. Good news is you can apply them in any order. Bad news is there's multiple patches. So yeah, that's a thing. There's also a UI misrepresentation bug in Exchange, which is unusual because I was flat out told by Microsoft that they don't fix UI misrepresentation bugs in security updates. So change, I guess. Change is good. But I'm also a little concerned with some of the phrasing in the description of this and several other bugs, where it says, making changes to disclosed information. At what point does information become disclosed? Is it when you can access it as an attacker, or is it when it's left off the machine and then disclosed to a different target? I mean, it's a very nuanced thing once you really get into the weeds of thinking about it, and it reads like AI slop to me. And I really hope that's not the case. I really hope Microsoft is not using AI to write the bulletins now. I think that would be a great loss if they did that, but we'll see. There's another interesting bug in NTLM. It's triggered by opening a specially crafted Office doc, and it sure looks like it's relaying into NTLM creds as well, although Microsoft doesn't specifically say that. There's a bug in Azure, and then the rest of them are just pretty much cross-site scripting bugs, which aren't that interesting. A couple more security feature bypasses to talk about. The first is in Hy-V, bypasses the virtualization-based security feature, and the other one is in GitHub Copilot. Told you I'd say that word a lot, and Visual Studio Code, and it can be used to bypass authentication. Auth bypass and Copilot, love them. Here for it. It's the last time I'm saying Copilot this month. So we've got some info disclosure bugs. Most of it's just random memory. There is one that's in the Azure IoT Explorer that will allow you to look at a file system. I don't know if it's straight up browser or if you can just kind of look at it. And then finally, 2 DOSes in LDAP and GDI Plus with no usable information from Microsoft on that. So this is now the 3rd time I've recorded this video. And if you've made it with me this far, thank you very much. I really do appreciate your attention and paying attention. And hopefully the microphone worked this time. And quite frankly, if the mic didn't work this time, I'm going to lose it. But I will be back at my home studio at March 10th for the next Patch Tuesday. And if not, I will have a new mic and we will do this again on the road and it will be fine. And I'm here for you. So anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe. And hey, until March, may all your reboots be smooth and clean.